welcome back to a very new video. But if you're new here, my name is Katja and this channel is my online diary about thousands of lives that I want to live through books, music, travel, language studies, basically all things that I love in life. And for this week's video, we need to talk about Jisoo and her newest release, but like her first release under her own label, Amortage. Today is Thursday, so tomorrow it will be release day, and I'm excited. I was not expecting a Jisoo comeback, but then again, it also kind of doesn't feel like a comeback just because it all feels so new. I'm wondering who is Jisoo? Who is that producer? Is it her or is it someone else? And it's probably already known by the time this will be out in the world. So I will put it down here, hopefully, fingers crossed. And I was so expecting that she would be the last member to bring out new music just because she has been a busy lady like all the other BlackPink members, but their focus was definitely more on the music side. However, with Jisoo, it was acting, which I love for her. We know for a very long time that she always wanted to be an actress, and getting the chance now to film so many things. I started to start just because she's doing both movies as TV shows, and I was like, I don't know how to talk about all that because she is doing it all. And I also love how she is exploring different genres like this comedy, horror, and also sci-fi with more a serious tone, and then a romantic thing. I love that for her so freaking much, and that she's even bringing out a mini album right off the mid of it. It blows me away. But I do like because that it's gonna be on Valentine's Day, just because it feels, well, it feels very amour. That's all that I can say, right? I mean, it's called Amortage, so, which is such a sick name, by the way. Yeah, we need to clap for Jisoo because it is amazing everything that she's been doing, and I'm looking forward to it tomorrow. Also, Lisa and Jenny are coming back later this month and the start of next month. And at first I was like, why are all their music things so close together? I mean, Rose, her album release was last month. Well, oh wait, it's already February. So it was in December, but still we do know that it's gonna be a deluxe edition of her album, so that will be probably released somewhere in late March. Well, that's what I think personally. Also, just because she released the performance video of Number One Girl, love that, on the 3rd of February. I think that is such an incredible smart move for all the Valentine people or people who don't necessarily celebrate Valentine's Day. It feels like such an empowered move to put it out there. Yeah, I absolutely love it. And then BlackPink, well, coming back to why everything feels so smashed together, all their releases, it is already announced that they will go on tour. I'm so excited because I had to miss their last 2 tours for various reasons. The first tour that I hoped ever to attend of them, I just became a fan of them and I was like, oh, I don't know, should I do this? I should have done this. But everything felt so new, so I didn't do it. And then the second time around, the last tour, the Born Pink one, I couldn't go because I thought I was gonna immigrate to Austria, which in the end I never did. So third time is a charm. We're gonna make it happen this time around, fingers crossed. I would hope to see them as well. And also because everything is so smashed, I do think that they're coming with new music, or at least I do hope so. But yeah, it's gonna be interesting. I don't hope that the world tour will be solo stages only and then a few group songs. I mean, it would be incredible if they would do a different concept, yes, but still, again, I would love to see them coming out, bringing out a new album, but I do have the feeling that the tour is way too soon, because it would be more amazing that they get to savor the moment of their current releases and then put out a group stuff and then go on tour next year. Like, put out a new album in, say, September and then go on tour next year. That would make more sense to me than what they are currently doing. Like, it's possible, but I'm just wondering how. Sorry, this was a very long BlackPink rant. I just looked at the time. I am just in awe of their hard work, but at the same time, I'm also wondering about the timing of it all. And also all the other groups that I love so much and that I want to go to concerts to. But yeah, I have the feeling this is gonna be an expensive year when it comes down to wanting to go to concerts and whatnot. Anyway, there's so much more things. If you didn't already click away because you didn't want to hear about anything Blackpink related or not too much out of this whole K-pop stuff, I get that, because there's also so many other things that I like as well, and that is language learning. And also, shoot, what was the other thing that I wanted to talk about? Language learning and, oh, the things that I'm gonna be reading this week, because I really want to get back in both of those things. See, I've been traveling a lot in January, and also the beginning of February. I just came back from Austria, and then I even traveled through Germany and stayed there for a night and also had some fun time in Düsseldorf. I went home for a hot minute and then I went on my way to London, but I also stayed in Brussels, which was all amazing, and it was very beneficial for my language studies to do immersion, because that's actually the best way how I learn. But it's also good to get your nose back in the books and study some grammar, some vocab, new things that I can learn about the language, and then apply it in the future for immersion, because before you know it, I will be traveling again very, very soon, and I'm excited for it, and I will talk all about that later, but not right now, because we also need to talk about the books that I am planning on reading and some other stuff that will be popping up during this week-long vlog. I hope you're excited, because I'm really excited. Here we go, Jisoo! I'm so excited! My very first thoughts on this mini album. It's so danceable. And yes, her single album was that as well, but for some reason it still surprised me that it is the same with her mini album, but then just upping her game. And I don't know which one is my favorite. I think Hugs and Kisses, but I definitely need to listen way more to this mini album, because besides that it's so good, I need to explore every single detail of the songs. Since we're already talking about Blackpink solos, I need to talk about the albums I haven't pre-ordered yet, and that's Lisa and Jennie. With Lisa, I think I'm gonna go with the jewel case, just because her other versions are super expensive over here in Europe, or at least in Belgium and the Netherlands, and I'm buying this from a Belgium web shop. They are amazing, by the way. But yeah, because one of her albums is already like way over 50 euros, and that's a lot to me. Like, this together, these two albums, if I get the Jennie photo book and the jewel case of Lisa, that's just 50 euros. So I think that's a way better deal than to take just one album, 50 euros. I mean, I would have done it if it was for like Blackpink as the group, or if there was something special about it, but yeah. And I mean, it's not to say that Lisa, her albums aren't special, because I think that the concept is amazing, that she went for all her different alter egos and created an album for them. But I don't get why her album is so pricey and you don't even get a lot out of it. That's just what I want to say. I'm not a hater, it's just what it is. It's probably due to customs and whatnot and all these crazy prices we have nowadays. So yeah, I think these are the two albums that I'm gonna get, and from Jenny I will be getting the Zen version just because it is the main visual of this album. Of course, I need to update you guys on what I'm reading. Well, actually, the first book that I was reading when I started this vlog was actually an audiobook, The Spell Shop. It's a cozy fantasy that I would highly recommend if you do want to read a fantasy, but a bit more chill. It was an amazing experience, and I didn't knew that there was gonna be a second book in the series that will be published somewhere this summer. But as of right now, I am reading The Artist by Lucy Steeds. When I was in London, I found this book at Hatchard, you know, that oldest bookshop in all of London. And I saw piles and piles of this book because it was Book of the Month. And also, the author signed it. How amazing. Anyway, when I read up on this book, I was like, ooh, I really like it because it is set in France, Provence, in 1920. And I just really like the literary vibes, but also the writing style of the author. I was blown away by just everything and the reviews and everything that I already read about the book, that I was like, you know what? You're coming home with me. Let's get ready for a new Ssserafim era with Hot. Yes, I'm filming a little bit strangely just because of copyright claim. Anyway, I am surprised that it is gonna be a mini album. I totally was expecting a studio album, but then again, there were rumors that there were gonna be 2 albums this year, so probably a mini album right now, and later this year a studio album. That's what I think so far, as of right now. The promotional schedule for Ssserafim's Hot just dropped, and the album trailer will already be released this week and concept photos next week. Like, wow, this makes me so excited. I do have to say though, this will be in a separate vlog, my reactions to all of this, and it will be in the vlog immediately after this one. It will be mainly about the Kiss of Life tour that I'm gonna go on and see the girls, but I'm just as excited for this Hot album. It just makes me curious the direction the girls are gonna go on to. Like, yeah, they already have a strong sound. I'm just wondering what this new layer will mean. What is this album gonna be about? But more about that in the next vlog. Y'all, we need to talk about my readings, because here's the thing. Ever since Jisoo her album came out, and I started to listen to it more and more and more, I also started to love it even more. And that's when the problem came in. I wanted to have a romantic storyline in the book that I was reading. And the artist, well, there might be a romantic component to it, but I'm not there as of yet. Quite honestly, I'm not even that far in. So I was like, you know what? I'm due for a new audiobook, so let's put something on. And I picked the second installment of Maxton Hall because I only finished the first book, not the second yet. But that led me to want to rewatch the TV series of book 1. And now I also finished the rewatch and I'm still craving love stories, but also, I don't know, maybe it's just because of all the traveling, I'm not really into reading a long story. So I was like, you know what, I need to go back to the things that always work when I'm not really in a reading mood, but I do want to read, and that is manga. So first up, I have the 5th volume of the Takapu. Wait, why am I trying to pronounce it in German? Well, I do read most of my manga in German, but this is the Apothecary Diaries, volume 5. Those Not So Sweet Boys, volume 1. And ooh, yes, this is gonna serve. My Happy Marriage, volume 4. Oh, now I'm in crisis of which one to read first. I mean, I guess My Happy Marriage, right? Because it couldn't get any more romantic than that. I am obsessed with this story. So, this one first, then the Apothecary Diaries, and then finally the first volume of those Not So Sweet Boys. So I immediately ranked them in the order that I want to read them. Sounds good, right? Let's get on. So, YG just announced that BlackPink is gonna go on a world tour. I am really not happy about this. Like, yes, I love it for the girls if they want to, but please, why not at least first a comeback announcement? That doesn't make any sense, and also the dates of the tour doesn't make any sense. It's way too soon after all their solo projects. So basically, if they are gonna have a comeback before the world tour, that means that the comeback is gonna be really rushed. And I don't want that. We just see how much the girl can shine and like as solo artist. And I know for sure that they can do it as a group as well, but this is honestly, guys, this really feels messy to me. And again, this is my anger is towards YG, not the girls. It's this really frustrates me, and the tickets will be on sale like next week or so. My. I don't know what to say. So I totally forgot that the hot trailer of the Sserafim, due to the time difference, would be published for me on Thursday instead of Friday. So here we are. It's so good. It's so different, but in a good way, as in it's still totally their concept, but you also see new sides of them as well. I don't have words. It's freaking good. And again, I just love how Sserafim does this stuff. I've said it in other vlogs. I just love the trailers and how the team works for them, and how they make up this stuff. Because these trailers, especially Serafim's, those concepts, they are all intertwined, but at the same time, there are so many layers in just one video, and to get it all right, I think that's so incredible. I'm highly raving about this trailer and also their comeback. I cannot wait what the future will hold for them. Welcome to the wrap-up part of this video. So here's the thing. I'm filming this quite a bit later due to the fact that I was still working on this essay, and then a lot of BlackPink members also dropped their stuff, and I was freaking out because I wanted to stay up to date, but at the same time I also had to film bits and bobs here and there, and then also get this all ready. And I really wanted to take my time to make my essay about all the members and their albums. Today it's actually the release date of Jennie, her album, so I'm really glad that I already wrote Jisoo hers. So the only ones left are now Lisa and Jennie, but then again, now I have some time to take a breather to work on Jennie, her album. But let's get back to Jisoo. Oh, by the way, there is one thing that I have to say before I start with my Jisoo essay. If you hear something in the background, I am so freaking sorry. You have no idea how many times I've actually filmed this segment of talking about Jisoo, her album, just because the sun has been out and it has been gorgeous weather the last few days. But also the motorbikers are all out today, and it has been driving me up the wall because I'm trying to film this bit. So if you hear something, please ignore it. And I will try to do the same because, wow. Anyway, let's get into Jisoo, her album, Amortage, a montage of love stories by Jisoo. That's the title of my essay, by the way. I will also link it down below. Something I do remember saying earlier in this vlog was that I have been amazed by Jisoo, her work ethic, because I didn't expect her to put out a mini album while she is filming so many K-drama projects, and I'm amazed by that. I was expecting if the BlackPink comeback will be there in late spring, I want to say. I was expecting like a single album from her, and that would already be a lot, but well, yeah, you kind of expected it since we know that there will be a world tour happening. But at the same time, coming out with a mini album before even Lisa or Jennie is incredible, honestly. But then again, she had to put it out on Valentine's Day, right? This is the perfect day to put an album out like this one. Although I do have a couple of question marks, but we'll get into that later. First up, this album is a montage of Jesus' love by blending amour and montage, creating a poetic concept that transforms her album into a cinematic and auditory collection of intimate love stories. Yeah, I saw the wall on that sentence. Not gonna lie. However, and this is the point, the question mark I was talking about, when you look at the songs, you could also say it's Amour together with Sabotage. Yeah, I know that it's Amour and Montage. Even the team of Jisoo said so, Jisoo herself said so, it's all over her album. Like, as in the actual words on the album. But, if you look closely at the lyrics, you can also say Sabotage, because there is a lot going on when it comes down to the narrative trajectory of it. Like ignoring the warning signs, there is sabotage, there are red flags, and still we call this amour and montage. Yeah, there is a deeper meaning into this. So I kind of like it how she just decided to drop it on Valentine's Day with no care in the world. I am, however, a bit surprised that this album is EDM and dance heavy with a very high energy. Well, technically I'm not surprised about the last part. I am surprised when it comes down to the music itself, because we know that Jisoo loves Korean instruments, she loves ballads, but she decided to be and stay very cohesive with her sound and how she wants to traject her music career, which I think is very interesting to see. So she didn't went the very experimental route, rather decided to stay very close to herself in a different way, not necessarily the person she is in private life, but more the things that she puts out there, which I think is very cool, because we still see her strong self, and it definitely translates throughout the entire mini album. So let's get on with the mini album, shall we? Starting up with Earthquake. Okay, before actually we start to talk about song by song by song, there is a storytelling from top to bottom, and I absolutely love it when a musician thinks about the story to, well, actually the story in each song, and then the overall story in a whole album. And Earthquake starts with the overwhelming feeling of falling in love that can be so sudden and uncontrollable, just like an earthquake. I like how the lyrics describe this all-consuming nature of desire, from feeling their heart race uncontrollably and their body trembling, that emphasizes the physical and emotional impact of this connection. And then I like that it was even highlighted by the musical drops to observe the incoming earthquake that represents the moments of overthinking and deep contemplation about what to do or say next to someone you like. Again, that's actually quite a red flag, I'm not gonna lie. And I like how both the pre-chorus is building up the tension, while during the bridge, the emotions get embraced despite knowing that they are falling. I truly like that the MV encapsulates Jisoo's passion for both acting and music. Just the storytelling itself is truly something that ties it in altogether, the whole branding of Amortage, which I think is really cool. Also, I like that Earthquake gives Jisoo a lot of room to be vocally expressive. Then let's go with Your Love. That is an amazing follow-up after the previous song, because the song Your Love feels like a love story told from the perspective of the person that fell in love after searching for love for a long time. I like that the production feels very intimate, especially the verse that feels like the mind of the singer, and the chorus explodes like a musical theater scene in a movie. Again, it's very cinematic, this album. Even though we don't have an MV of this song, you can see it all happening in your head, or at least I can. I'm someone who thinks in pictures. I don't know. Sorry for stutter, because I don't know what the English word is for it, if there's even an English word for it. Anyway, to me, this song sounded like the song that you want to put on when you are driving on a warm summer night with the sunset as the backdrop, because it is just that kind of song. It feels very nostalgic, and I have no clue which song this reminds me of and being this nostalgic, but maybe it is the lyrics that use gentle and dreamy imagery that it makes it feel this nostalgic. Nevertheless, Your Love beautifully captures the feeling of deep, comforting love and painting it as something both familiar and magical. However, then we go and move on to Tears. I love the rock influenced chorus, accompanied by the stomping beat that fits the laid back verses. Tears reconciles with the feeling of love being easy. Something is missing and she no longer wants to be comforted by this person. So one last cry before continuing as a new and changed person. This song is such an empowering anthem about moving on from a relationship, and I love that it is one of the most poppy diss tracks I've ever heard. Then we move on to, or actually let it go, with Hugs and Kisses, cause we move on from a diss track to a final dismissive mic drop. I love how the title of this song is used ironically to highlight how empty gestures cannot undo the pain caused. The song illustrates a sense of relief and newfound freedom after moving on. It explores themes of heartbreak, betrayal, and self-empowerment, with the narrator rejecting insincere affection after being deceived in a relationship. I cannot with this song. It's so good. It sounds like the it girl on this album. I will never forget the first time when I heard this song. I was doing some light work on my computer and I had the album on, and I just stopped in my tracks when I heard Hugs and Kisses. Just with its catchy melody and emotionally charged lyrics, a mix of anger, defiance, and confidence, the song becomes an anthem of self-respect and moving on, proving that love alone cannot repair broken trust. In conclusion, Earthquake is the love struck, Your Love the honeymoon stage, Fierce, downfall of relationship, while Hugs and Kisses is the savage X. I absolutely adore it. I think it's so good. You can just see the different stages of a relationship, and it's so cinematic. There is such a good story build up in this. mini album that I'm just blown away. And I think the storytelling alone is not where it stops, because if you look, and this is something that I thought was very interesting when I looked at all the track titles, the letters. How are the song titles spelled? Because some of those are written in full capital, how it is supposed to be, some of them. So Your Love, the Y and the L are both in capital, so that's very English how to write it. And then my battery is empty. No, 1 second. Are we back live? I hope so. Anyway, but then we have one of the titles having no capital at all, and that one is Earthquake. It's written like a flat line. Could we have known from the start that this relationship was doomed? I'm wondering about that, and I love that this album makes me guessing so many things. So yeah, I adore this mini album. This is a very well curated album that listens as a cinematic experience. The incredible high energy and danceable songs make it hard to choose my favorite song. But then again, I already said this, but I will never forget the first time I heard Hugs and Kisses. It's just the it girl of this album. This really makes me really excited for future projects of Jisoo. She already said she's working on more songs. Well, I'm like, please girl, take a rest. You've been working so hard, and honestly her work attitude is next level. But then again, I like that when she goes on variety shows, she is like, yeah, but I like to chill, I like to be in bed and do nothing, just game, eat snacks, you know? And I'm like, you're so relatable at the same time, but also you're doing this all and it's so high energetic. So then again, this album really fits her attitude in life, how she is, even though, yeah, she loves the ballads, she loves Korean traditional instruments. She also has this very high energy in her as well, which is very her and very telling about her strong sense of self again. Okay, so that was that. I really enjoy her album. I've said it now already a million times in just this clip, scene, whatever, part of the video. And I'm really excited about BlackPink, their comeback, what is gonna happen. They now all had their own time to shine. I can say it now because I'm filming this part and when January album comes out, but I like how these girls truly have been exploring who they are outside the group, and also their sound. So I'm really curious how their sound will be when they come back as one, BlackPink. However, they are signed as a group still under YG, so there will still be this hip-hop vibe to all of it, which I think them as a group, BlackPink, it suits them very well. It's how I know them, how they have been working for 9 years now? Is it 9 years? I believe something like that, right? But still, I am wondering how they are gonna explore certain sounds in their comeback. Okay, I've been rambling on for long enough. Even a battery had to give up on me. So I think this is enough. Anyway, if you want to read the full essay that I wrote about Jisoo, her album, I will link it down below. And I hope to see you next time. Have a beautiful and hopefully also a sunny day. And I hope to see you next time. Bye!